Larry Bird never wanted to coach, just a 3-year promise and a warning that he wasn't staying. But in that short window, he won Coach of the Year, pushed Jordan's Bulls to the brink, and led the Pacers to their first ever finals. So, how did a guy with zero experience nearly take down 2 dynasties? Was he a genius hiding in plain sight? After retiring in 1992, Larry Bird disappeared from the game.
So today I'm retiring and I'm still going to be around.
No TV, no front office gig, just fishing, golfing. He was once asked about coming back to the game. His answer? I don't enjoy the spotlight, never have. I'd rather be home mowing my lawn. To Bird, coaching meant long hours, media scrutiny, and a life he'd already walked away from. The Pacers were flailing, 39-43, with Reggie Miller still in his prime, but a locker room on the edge. Tensions were high, direction was unclear. Fans weren't just frustrated, they were running out of faith. They didn't need a tactician, they needed a savior. And for Indiana, there was only one name big enough to inspire instant hope: Larry Legend. He had never coached a single game, but his aura alone made people believe. For Pacers fans, it was a dream, their hometown hero, back to restore order. Bird said yes, but with one non-negotiable condition. He would coach for exactly 3 seasons, no more, no less. He didn't want to be the next Phil Jackson. He wasn't chasing rings or legacies. He wanted to reset the culture, build a winner, and then walk away. But what no one expected was how quickly he would do it. Year 1, instant impact. Larry Bird took a team that missed the playoffs and turned them into a 58-win powerhouse. The Pacers didn't just improve, they became contenders. And in the Eastern Conference Finals, they went face-to-face with the ultimate test: Michael Jordan's Bulls, a dynasty, a juggernaut, the final season of The Last Dance. They pushed Jordan's Bulls to 7 games, arguably the toughest series Chicago faced that entire dynasty. In Game 7, with Reggie Miller's title dreams on the line, Bird called a timeout, rallied his veterans, and trusted Miller to lead a furious comeback. They fell just short, but Bird's poise under pressure sent a message. This wasn't just a player coasting on his name. This wasn't a novelty hire. This was a coach with presence, command, and vision. Reggie Miller later said, "Larry didn't yell. He just looked at you, and you knew you had to step up." That trust in his players turned a good team into a great one. Think about it, a rookie coach, no prior experience, going toe-to-toe with Phil Jackson and Michael Jordan, the greatest dynasty in NBA history. Bird's calm leadership, trust in veterans, and no-nonsense style clicked fast. He won NBA Coach of the Year, and true to form, he barely reacted. No speeches, no chest pounding, just a nod and back to work. But was this just beginner's luck, or was Bird building something even bigger? Larry Bird wasn't a tactician like Popovich. He didn't obsess over X's and O's, but he did something just as valuable. He built a culture players believed in. Bird surrounded himself with sharp minds: Rick Carlisle, Dick Harder, and let them do what they did best. He didn't micromanage, he empowered. Behind the scenes, he held players accountable, managed egos, and out front, he led with quiet confidence. No drama, no distractions, just standards, and the results spoke for themselves. Back-to-back trips to the Eastern Conference Finals in '98 and '99. In the chaotic lockout-shortened '99 season, with no training camp and a new-look roster, Bird still led the Pacers to a 33-17 record and another deep run. Any doubts about him being a one-year wonder? Gone. Then came 2000. This was the moment Pacers fans had been waiting for. Reggie Miller still chasing his first ring, a young Jalen Rose finally stepping into the spotlight. Bird saw something in Rose, something others didn't. He gave him freedom, and Rose delivered, a breakout playoff weapon, a symbol of Bird's low-key gift, developing talent by trusting it. But just as they reached the mountaintop, they found a monster waiting. The finals, Shaq and Kobe, 67 wins, prime dominance. The Lakers weren't just good, they were inevitable. Bird's Pacers battled, they kept it close. They fought through every screen, every elbow, every fourth quarter run. But in the end, the Lakers were too much. The Pacers fell in 6. Still, the impact was undeniable. Indiana had reached its first ever NBA Finals, and Larry Bird, just 3 years in, had taken them there. Most coaches spend a lifetime chasing that moment. Bird did it on his own terms. The question now wasn't whether Bird could coach, it was why he'd already decided to stop. And just like that, Larry Bird walked away. No messy contract drama, no locker room mutiny, no front office feud. He coached exactly 3 seasons, just like he said he would. No more, no less. Bird said, "I never intended to coach long term. 3 years. That's it." He didn't leave because he failed. He left because he finished what he set out to do. At his peak Coach of the Year, a finals appearance, and a culture reset, he walked away with the respect of his players, his peers, and his state. No scandals, no burnout, just results, legacy, closure. But for Pacers fans, it still stung. Bird had given them hope, a new identity, a reason to believe again. And then he was gone. He left on his terms, leaving behind one of the shortest, most successful coaching tenures in NBA history. And one big question: what if he had stayed? Larry Bird wasn't just the Pacers' coach, he was Indiana's son. From the hardwood at Indiana State to the bright lights of Boston, he carried the pride of an entire state. But coaching the Pacers, that was personal. It wasn't about legacy, it was about giving back. He took a fractured franchise and gave it a heartbeat. From small-town French Lick to the biggest stage in basketball, Bird became a living reminder of Indiana's underdog spirit. His 3 years on the sideline weren't just about wins. They were about proving what was possible for a team, a city, and a state that never stopped believing. And in doing so, Bird gave Indiana something it had never had before and hasn't forgotten since: a blueprint for greatness. Larry Bird's coaching career was short but nearly flawless. 147 wins, just 67 losses, a .687 win rate, Coach of the Year, and a finals run in just 3 seasons. His playoff record, 11-12. Not eye-popping until you remember who he lost to: Michael Jordan's Bulls, Shaq and Kobe's Lakers, 2 of the most dominant dynasties the league has ever seen. And unlike other NBA legends who struggled on the sidelines, Magic Johnson lasted 16 games. Isaiah Thomas flamed out in New York. Bird, he built a finals team on his first try. So the question hangs in the air: what if he had stayed? Could he have become the next Popovich? Could he have built a dynasty in Indiana? His 3-year stretch screams untapped potential. A coaching career that didn't fade out, it just ended too soon. Years later, Bird would return as an executive and build another Pacers contender around Paul George. Different role, same results: winning, stability, culture. He may never be remembered as one of the greatest coaches of all time, but maybe that's because he never gave us the chance to see just how great he could have been. Most NBA legends flop as coaches. Larry Bird, he crushed it and then vanished. Coach of the Year, finals run, .687 win rate, and he still walked away. So, was he one of the greatest what-ifs in NBA coaching history? Drop a comment. Could Bird have built a dynasty if he stayed? But if Bird left with grace, our next coach, he left scorched earth behind. Click to see the NBA coach whose ego exploded a locker room and nearly erased his legacy.